again. We know this is what we're meant to do. So we wake up, put our feet on the floor, go and conquer the day like a warrior, like warriors. Cause that's what a tribe does. We got your back so you can relax and focus on all the important stuff, like getting your business done. This is our tribe. We look out for each other. That's right, that's right. This is our tribe. We help each other grow in business and life. That's right, that's right. No need to panic anymore. We got lots of support and an army of warriors by our side. We fight the good fight when we unite. We fight the good fight when we unite. Cause that's what a tribe does. We got your back so you can relax and focus on all the important stuff, like getting your business done. This is our tribe. We look out for each other. That's right, that's right. This is our tribe. We help each other grow in business and life.
Hi, everybody. My name is Sondra, and I am the host of the Coffee Shop Show, sponsored by ProTech. And our show, it's about everything business, startups, medium, scaling, and everything in between. I am joined by the amazing gentleman from ProTech. And we're going to jump right in. So we have kind of wrapped up we wrapped up customer journey the last couple of weeks on how that should look and how to get loyal customers and so on and so forth. So today we're going to transition. Well, we're going to do a topic that's dear to my heart, and then we're going to transition into leadership skills and so forth starting next week. But today we are going to talk about setting up Q4 so that you are successful for 2026. And yes, I realize it's September of 2025, but how you show up in Q4 is how you're going to show up in the new year. If that is not your jam and it has not worked for you in the past, by all means, be like, okay, I'll do this review end of Q4. Everybody has just a little bit of a different journey, so I'm all for that. But I figured it was a great time to remind people how to do the review, and why it's important, and how if you do it now, it can really help you set up Q4, which sets you up for the new year. And again, depends on your business. If a lot of people, if your business is very much geared around the holidays, you're definitely going to do your review now, so you're geared towards the holidays. You're not worried about, I still didn't do my review or whatever. So things can happen smoothly, especially if your business is focused around the holidays. I was just talking to a client. We were talking about Black Friday and planning and making sure we start making sure all that's pulled together now, because I do not like scrambling the week of the week of Black Friday. So we were talking about that, how we wanted to have everything ready by the end of this month so that we go into it without stress and worry and all those things, especially tech and so forth. So go ahead, Peter. Hi, how are you today?
Oh, I'm good, thanks. So sorry, I mean, my hand was up, but I could gladly wait
Nope, go ahead.
Okay. So I'm actually glad we're talking about this, because I think I'm in a space where I need to do a review. Things change so fast and furious that it's like getting caught with your pants down. It's like walking along the beach with 2 ice creams, and then you realize my pants are around my ankles and I can't exactly drop the ice cream. It's all about information, and information is key. Knowing exactly where you're at, it kind of gives you an authority within your own space, because it gives you all the information. This is exactly where I'm at. This is exactly what I'm using. This is exactly how it's being used. I know that we no longer do this because it is unnecessary. We no longer use that because we don't need to anymore. We've replaced this with that. It gives you this great understanding of how is my business functioning internally, and how do we cope with the things that are thrown at my business? How do we cope if something happens? I need to know, okay, this is what has happened, but these are the things that we are using, and these are the tools that we have access to solve that problem. If you haven't done your review, then you're like, oh, wait a second, what were we using again? Or do we have an email that was generated to send out for that specific purpose? Or you just don't know. You don't know. Maybe your business is still sending out old messages because they're automated, and you've come up with a new product, but your messages don't indicate that. Or, and these things may seem like small things, but once you're on top of all of these small things, you basically align yourself and your business. It gives you that authority to make decisions. Like somebody throws something at you, and you can be like, well, yes, I know exactly what we do, how we do it. I know there's been price changes. I know what the price changes are. I know that we no longer use this because it doesn't speak directly to the customer. We now use this. This is now how my customers get hold of me to make sure that I'm contactable. They seem like small things, but at the end of the day, you're running your business, and it's your responsibility. So don't be caught on the beach with 2 ice creams and no pants.
I love that analogy. I also love that you brought up systems. And I literally was just talking about this in goal setting this morning. November is a pricier month for me because those year subscriptions I bought on Black Friday deal or cybersecurity or whatever, you've bought one or two of those, at that time. They're up for a renewal, y'all. So make sure you have that in your budget. If you don't know what your budget is, if you don't know where your finances are, things are going to bounce. It might be on an old credit card you no longer use. It might be tied to a bank account that you don't want it coming out of. So when you're doing the review now, you can catch those things. Like what funds need to come out of for fourth quarter? Is it going to break the bank? Do I have it covered? What do I need to do now before those bills are due at the end of November, beginning of December? What do I want to do for clients or customers or employees for the holidays, if you choose to? Those are a budget thing. And if you don't know your budget now or how your budget's going, then you can't budget for it. And then, like you said, your pants are around your ankles and you're like, wait, that bill I gotta move the move around. Let me move this money. Things are bouncing. So it's extremely important as part of your quarterly review. You're reviewing your systems and your bills and your finances and your processes. And yes, if you said it and forgot it in February, is it still working? Is it still beneficial? Is it needed? Maybe you got a system at the beginning of the year because it was going to be that amazing system that was going to cure whatever, and you used it twice in the last 9 months. Maybe it's time to let it go. Or you have had a system for 5 years and you haven't looked to see what improvements they've made or what new things they have or any of those things. That's going to make your business stronger because one, you're looking at your finances, so you know what you need to end the year, hopefully profitable, because that's what we all want to do, and set us up for the new year so that profit can roll into the new year, and so on and so forth. And what systems do you need? What resources do you need? Do you need to go find new resources? Do you need to cut some resources to make room for other resources? Those are all very important for your business so that you end the year on a positive note. Nobody wants to end the year in debt. But it's internal processes and budget that is going to help you by reviewing those. Mr. L, hello, sir. Come on in.
Hi, good evening. Good evening, Sondra. Good evening, Peter. Most of the businesses or business people, entrepreneurs will tell you towards the end of the year, I am tired. I'm looking forward to a well-deserved holiday. And this is the time you should be working harder. Because when you come back from what you call well-deserved holiday, you might not have a business. You need to be working harder now, preparing for next year. You need to be working harder now, putting systems into place so that when you come back after Christmas or whenever you come back, you know exactly what's happening in business. you pre-plan, you do things in advance. So it's something that happens mostly with small businesses, some large corporates, where we say, yo, I can't wait for the year to end. And what do? We slow down. Instead of picking up the pace, making sure that you prepare for the following year, we start slowing down. We start slowing down. And ultimately, by the time you get to your holiday date, you've been on holiday for 2 weeks or for 3 weeks, and you're going to be relaxing. It's fine. You need to rest. Come next year, you're gonna wake up with 2 ice creams at the beach and your pants down, because now you don't know exactly what's happening. You don't know where to start. Meanwhile, if you can use this stretch of your saying I'm tired to make sure that you plan for the following year, you know exactly when you come back on the 2nd of January or whenever you come back, you know exactly what's in place. You know exactly what orders would have been coming through, who's going to be there for, to pack the orders, to receive the orders, to pay, and all that. As long as you have prepared for what's coming, then you will still have business, and you will not, in the first few days of the new year, be stressed, because now it's expenses. It's your school fees. It's a whole lot of other expenses that you've got to incur. Your staff needs to be paid, and where's the money? Have you used your money all at your holiday and not reserved some money for January, February, so that you can be able to cover your salaries and to be able to buy raw materials if you're using raw materials, or be able to buy products in? Or if you are a business coach, are you ready to now start dealing with those that are saying, I'm stressed? Because they're going to come to you as a business coach. They're going to come to you as a funder. They're going to come to you as somebody that's been helping them. So will you be ready for all those? Otherwise, you find people are coming up with stresses. You are stressed too. Where's the business going to go? So I think this is the time when we really need to be planting and sowing and watering and making sure that when I come back, I can reap the rewards of my hard work. Why are you taking a holiday? You're taking a holiday so you can go and rest. Now, why do you start resting earlier when you should be pushing for the last bit, so that when you come back, you know exactly what's happening? This is Lesetja Mokou from Litmoc, your business development agents.
I love that, Mr. Al. Yes, a lot of people do take the holidays off. And so, yes, if you're reviewing and preparing now, you're not going to be stressed in holidays or when you come back to work. And I think the other thing to remember, and I actually only learned this last year, was if you're commission-based, a lot of commission-based businesses, October and November are their highest sales, because to get paid out before the end of the year, you got to put the business in October or November to get paid out. I remember my client telling me last year, he was just like, our year ends November 15th if we're going to get paid. And I'm just like, well, we still have 6 weeks. And he's like, it don't work that way in the commission world. Because if you're going to get paid this year, you got to have the business closed and for it to be able to be paid out. So definitely keep that in mind if you're new to the commission world, depending, of course, on how that works in your business. But I also liked what you said, Mr. Al, was about knowing what's coming in and what's coming out before you go on vacation, so that when you come back, you can pay and review those numbers quickly and know where you're at versus, tons and tons of work after the fact is extremely important. Go ahead, Mr. Peter.
Yeah, I think something that everybody needs to understand is that entrepreneurship, business, There is no one size fits all. It doesn't exist. It's not like you can go, oh, I need to do a review. I'm just going to um, download a PDF that's a plan. Um, you can get general, but really it's up to you as the business owner to customize your own review plan so that you know that when you do your review, it's covering all of your bases according to what your business is. You can't be like, oh no, the Fred next door from the bakery, he did a review. I'll just go borrow his. And you run a machine shop or an auto parts place. Fred's review is not going to help you. You're going to end up selling bread. It just doesn't work that way. Um, and because you are the oversight of your space, you know what you manufacture or what you sell, how you sell it, what pricing, what products there are, how the finances flow in, how they flow out. And all of those different aspects need to be put into your review so that you are reviewing every single aspect of your business from A to Z. Missing something, as small as it might be, could be extremely disastrous. You have to know your space. And I think a lot of people that they're like, oh, it's business. I just run a business. I run a business. Well, good for you. If you don't stay on top of it, then the business is going to be running you. Now, I've seen that so many times where people are in business, but then they end up going, oh my goodness me, we didn't plan properly. We need to get another customer in to get a deposit to use that deposit to finish the previous customer's work because we didn't plan properly. And now my finances are all over the place. And oh, I'm just going to take money from my personal finances to cover this particular job for that particular client because we didn't get a big enough deposit. And now oh, another client comes in and now the first client is asking for, is their job finished, but you haven't finished it because you didn't have the finances. That business be running you. You're not running it, it's running you. That's like bad parenting. If the business was a child, you'd be like the worst parent on the face of the planet. Little planning goes a long way. So my advice to somebody that is wanting to create a plan for their review is to sit down with somebody and discuss your space. Talk about your needs, talk about your finances, talk about your processes, talk about because not all systems for doing a review will work in every space. It has to be unique and customized to you and your space so that by the time you've done a review, you have all the answers. You know what to cancel, you know what to move. You know that this product is no longer necessary. You don't, or you don't need this application anymore. You haven't used it in 6 months. So now you're saving money. Now you know you're saving money. Now you know you've got extra money. Now you know you've got a decision to make as to what do we do with that money? Do we save it? Do we put it towards something else to do something else? Because now you've got decisions to make and you can play with the information at hand, but you cannot play with information you don't have. Once again, ice creams. No, don't do it.
Yeah, that is a really good point, Peter. And even myself, somebody that does coach on how to do a review and so forth. Mine is a checklist of areas for you to check in your business. So it's like 10 areas, and then I do the top 3 questions for those areas. Do all the areas, well, I say all the areas do usually apply to everybody because I do make them pretty open, but I also offer coaching sessions to do that with you or to walk through you because sometimes it's as much as you want to rely on somebody in your company or whatever, it's also nice you bring in an outside perspective to ask you those questions. And I'm very big on non-judgmental. So if you say you sold X and only made Y and had to borrow from C, I'm not going to judge you for it. It's just going to be writing down those facts and being like, okay, this is how this happened. Now, did you like it or didn't you like it? Like, did you like it? Not me. This is me asking you questions to figure out what worked and what didn't work. So that's one reason I love doing reviews with people because yes, like you said, every company, every business type is unique. And yeah, you can look up how to do a review, and most of them are very, very generic. So that's why I have a workbook and a checklist and so forth so that you can do that. And if finance isn't your thing, bring in your financial person. If you don't have a financial person, then say, hey, I don't have one. Like, can you suggest one, or what resources? I do go over with people what their resources are. And then maybe you could say, hey, maybe I should get a bookkeeper, or maybe I should get this platform so that I do know my numbers rolling into the end of the year, to the beginning of the year, because I'm a little lost here. The same thing with like inventory and things like that. But services too. Services, it's like, okay, you have, I don't know, 20 services and only 3 are selling. Like, should you be still offering the other 17, or do you need to recreate or trim down? I'm thinking about some of the cooking shows we watch, and they'll come in and be like 5 pages of a menu, and they're like, yeah, no. Menus need to be no more than 3 pages at the most, and that's only if you offer breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So some of those things, it's hard to see when you're in it. So you got to step back to do a review. A review is not, oh, give me all the numbers and I'm just going to crunch numbers. If you truly step back and look at your processes, your numbers, what's working, who's working, resources, systems, so on and so forth, you get the full picture. Like Peter said, something could have changed and you didn't realize it, or something fell off, or you've bought an X, Y, and Z and didn't use it. But you don't know until you know. So knowledge is power. Applied knowledge is movement. So definitely want to take that knowledge and apply it. But we've definitely talked a lot about why, the why. Mr. L, do you want to add something before I move on to some tips on how?
Of course. Let me just add, you're talking about uniqueness of each business. And I think it ties to Peter's saying that what did you say, Peter? You can't just duplicate business plans or reviews or stuff like that. They are all unique. Now, there's a shoe company that I visited last week, and I think they are one of the few that manufacture up to, I think, size 15 of a shoe. And I asked them, so how do you plan on keeping your material? Now, they said to me, over the years, we've been checking how many people come through to us for us to manufacture, because those ones they manufacture by hand. There's no machine, it doesn't go through any machine. So they said to me, they kind of know roughly how many people are going to come, at what time, for them to be able to manufacture a certain type of a shoe for them. So over the years, they've been reviewing and keeping record, making sure that when the time comes, we are ready. And I said to them, so if I just pop in now and say to you, I'm a size 15 and I need a shoe, will you be able to cover me? And they said, no, certainly we will be. Because the material that we keep is not just material for the people that we know are going to come. We've got a bit of extra material, but we don't keep a lot of material with us because we don't want dead stock. So we keep just enough for us to be sure that if 1 or 2 people come through and say, I need a size 14, I need a size 15, we can measure them and manufacture those shoes for them. So for me, that is pre-planning. For me, that is reviewing. For me, that's keeping your records, knowing exactly where you have been, where you want to go, and how you are going to get there. So for me, the uniqueness of each business, that's what it comes to. Thanks, Sondra.
I love that, Mr. L. Yeah, definitely. So I do want to give a few tips on how to do a review. Again, I do have workbooks and checklists. You can always hit me up with my LinkedIn link, and we can talk about getting that stuff to you and how much that costs. The checklist is free. But my workbook is actually for multiple businesses because my main audience is entrepreneurs that have multiple businesses. So my workbook is geared towards that. But some of the areas I tell people to cover, that you don't, yes, numbers, that's great. Your SOPs, your processes, that's great. But some things that people don't think about to review is your goals. Like, what were your goals this year? What were your goals last quarter, this quarter? How's those going? Your mission and values. These don't usually change, but there can be tweaks made to them. Or maybe you do want to overhaul your mission and values for your business. But at least looking at them and saying, this is why I'm in business. Our mission is to help small businesses develop their business and grow their business as a coffee shop show. So having a mission statement and values, and some people don't have that, or they just need to review it. And that takes 5 minutes, not like something long. Of course, your processes, your systems, and your finances. Your business plan is definitely going to be a go-to for review. Your business plan is a living document, not a set it and forget it. Same thing with your processes, aka SOPs, standard operating procedures. They're not a set it and forget it. They're definitely something you want to review. A couple other things to review that people don't always think about: your team. And, hopefully you have a team, whether that team is an intern, somebody you bartered with, a community. Well, that's different. Can be anybody that helps you do your business. So you want to definitely review your team. Communities, what communities are you in? What communities are you not in? Where do you need to be? And then another one that people don't think about is, what are your resources? And I'm very big on, everybody has resources. Sometimes you just have to look really hard for them. And sometimes they're right here in front of your face and you don't even see them because, again, you're too close to it. So reviewing those resources to see, hey, I have social media covered and video editing covered. I need somebody for financial. Like, where is the deficit and how can we get that resource to you? So that's like some of the areas that I suggest people to cover when they're doing their review. And all of these matter. And yes, does it matter? Everybody's like, oh, you just review your finances and maybe your systems or SOPs, or it's kind of, you need to review all 10 for a full picture of what is going on in your business. Because like Peter said, if you don't know what's going on in your business could possibly poof. Or like Mr. L said, you go on holiday and you come back like, wait, why did that fall apart while I was gone? I had a client that, I don't know, it was earlier this year, and he's just like, oh, wow, like everything was fine while I was gone. I'm like, well, we have systems and processes in place for this. This is what I do. This is what I'm supposed to do on the team. And I just was looking at him like, why are you surprised? But he was in a good way. But you also don't want that to be a bad thing, that you come back and be like, okay, that didn't get done. And who's responsible for it? And they'll be like, nobody, you didn't assign it to us, so we didn't do it. And it happens more than you think. I've had that happen many times, and my client will be, well, okay, if they didn't do their part, you need to do your part. And I'm always like, okay, let's work together. So Peter, come on in. You know me, I will run this conversation all by myself.
Sondra, something you mentioned earlier, or I think I may have mentioned it and then you spoke on it, was getting somebody external to be the person that actually assists you with creating the review space or helping you customize it. I'm just going to say something based on my own experience, in that when it comes to my own business, I'm extremely biased because it's my business. And I'm such a great businessman. And I'm biased within my own space. I will admit that it takes an outside perspective to point things out and go, why do you still have this? I'll be like, because, oh, wait a second, I actually don't need that. Or I actually haven't used that. I plan on using it, but I'm not using it now. So we as business owners, entrepreneurs, we're all very biased within our own spaces, and the people that work within our spaces are pretty much exactly the same. We work here, we run a tight ship. Yeah, as tight as what an outsider would see it as if they are generating and creating a review for that space, because they're going to ask the relevant questions, questions that we're not going to ask ourselves. And I think that was the key for me. So for me, creating a review space, I'm going to bring in outsiders. It's going to have to be somebody I trust. Don't get me wrong, they're not going to be that far outside that I don't know them. It's going to be somebody I trust. It's going to be somebody I know, but it's going to be somebody that I know is going to take a really good hard look at my space and ask the relevant questions, because then I'm answerable to have to answer those questions in order to create a review space that's going to be complete and not skip a beat. So I would recommend do that. If you think you want to go at it on your own, at least have somebody external go through the process with you before you start the process. If that makes any sense, have them help you build it out. They don't necessarily have to do the review for you, because it would be better if you did the review yourself. But it would be great if they helped you build up that space and ask you the relevant questions, and maybe ask you questions that you never even thought you had to answer before. And you might learn some things about your own business. I know that I have been humbled many times, and every single time I'm humbled, I learn something. Go figure. So yeah, Sondra, that's where you've been absolutely brilliant, because you're going to ask the relevant questions, and I'm going to sit here and be like, oh shit, I've got to answer that. But it's great. I learn something every time.
Yeah, and I love that. I love what you said. Have somebody do it with you. I fully, yes. Can you hire somebody to come in and like totally go through all your stuff? Yes. But like you said, it's more powerful if they do it with you, or at least build out the checklist, or give you or help you build out the questions, because you should know your business. I had, when I started with, I do some coaching, like an intro coaching thing, and I've had people tell me things, and I'm like, why are you doing that that way? Why do you have it that way? And I'll be like, oh, because so and so said so. And I'll be like, but are you using it, or is it working for you? Like, they're like, oh no, but I'm paying several $100s a month to have it. Like, one instance was they were paying for the system to put coaching notes in. I was like, external coaching notes? They're like, oh no, internal. I'm like, do you not know how to use Google Docs or Word? It was just like, it was full on CRM. And I was like, but if you're not using it, why do we have it? And they're like, oh, well, so and so said it was great for note taking. I'm like, okay, there's definitely more cheaper ways to take notes. And they were like, I never thought of it. Just, it was one of those, somebody told me to do this, and this is how I did it. Which I get that. We follow lots of people, and we follow a lot of people's methods. So definitely having somebody ask you questions is great, and you come up with the answers, and not go, oh, go see so and so on my team to get the answers. No, as a business owner, you should be able to say, and you might have to say, let's bring in my financial person so you can help me ask questions. That's fine. I mean, you're still getting the information, you're still knowledgeable about it, and you bring in the finance person, and we have a three-way conversation. It's totally acceptable, but as long as you're getting the information too. So it's not like I, go over a report or something with you and you don't know how it was created or why it was created or what this line means. Then yeah, bring in that person on your team that has that information so that you understand and can explain your financial report to somebody. And then the other thing I want to say is that if you're concerned by bringing somebody in from the outside, of course, try to bring in somebody you trust if possible. If not, just you can put legal things in place. You can do an NDA. I mean, there's things that you can have legally signed before you bring somebody in to review all your secrets in your business. I've worked with people that have new technology and have cutting edge technology, and she's doing amazing things, but everybody had to have an NDA that stepped into her team or anything that stepped in from the outside, because she had patent pending information that can change the world. So do yourself and put that extra layer of protection there. We're not saying, oh, bring somebody in and let them go through all your stuff and learn all your things and take off with it. Like, bring somebody in, hopefully you can trust. If you don't know somebody, if you have to bring me in and I'm an outsider, then yeah, let's do an NDA and be like, hey, I don't have a problem with that. I would hope anybody that come in to help you do a review would have no problem with going, okay, here's an NDA. Let's make things secure, is extremely important. So definitely put that in place. Some general basic questions you want to ask. Is this thing, system, process working currently? What's wrong? How can I make it better? Because usually you can tweak something and make it better. And it can be a minor tweak of, I don't know, change 5 minutes of this time to 10 minutes this time. So, I mean, something that's just and then what do you want it to do? If you want something that takes note keeping, let's do a note keeping, coach's note thing. So is it doing the thing you want it to do? And again, systems get updated faster than we blink, like seriously. So if you don't know the system that you purchased 6 months ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, do you know the current version of it? Because you're using the current version, but you're probably not using it to its best ability. I do a system and process audit service. That is something I do, and most people don't even know half the things that something does that they purchased even 6 months ago, because that's just technology. That's the world we're in. So looking at that, and even if it's just the newest features, or Googling what are the current features of, I don't know, QuickBooks or something. QuickBooks is always improving. Knowledge is power. And maybe that when you're doing your review, you're like, oh, wait, this does this now. So let's change my process to include it. Or wait, I can get rid of this system because this system improved so much that I don't need this part anymore. So definitely make sure you're looking at what the system you are using is currently able to do. And it might be something that they took away that you need, and it's not doing it anymore. It's doing it poorly. So definitely asking, what is it? How is it working now? How can I improve it? And what do I want the outcome to be from improving it? Because the goal of doing a quarterly review is not only looking back, but it's preparing for the future, which is why I'm saying do it now, so that you can prep your Q4 and your Q1 to be successful. Because like Mr. L said, people go on holidays. Holidays can be crazy depending on what kind of business you're in. Holidays can be slow, and you got to prepare for that. So I'm very big on family. So holidays can be crazy, and I don't take a full holiday, but I do take intermittent days. So I need to prep and plan for that. Go ahead, Peter.
Yeah, I think just with the experience of the last couple of weeks, you very quickly realize how fragile life is, and how important it is that if you're going to do something, just do it right. Life is too short to like, I'm just gonna throw something at the wall and hope that it sticks. We're all human beings. We're all driven. We all experience great successes. We get to share those successes with each other. That's one of the reasons for the space. We get to share our stories. We get to motivate entrepreneurs. We get to speak to business professionals. We get to tell them things that maybe we messed up and how we fixed it. And maybe people can tell their stories of how they messed up things and then they fixed it, or their successes. How did they get to that point? It's kind of the point of the space. So when you do realize that things could be over just like that, one day you're here and the next day you're gone, put in the effort to do it right. You want to leave behind a legacy? Do it properly. And then I know this is completely off topic, but to two families, the Hingston family, and actually also the Kirk family, because I think we've experienced something similar over the last little while. Just as the team on this side, our thoughts and prayers definitely go out to you. Your future is just beginning. I will keep quiet now.
No, that is important. And actually, mindset was actually one of the things on the show notes. You're doing a review not to punish yourself. The review is not a punishment. The review, look at it as a way of improving yourself and improving your business and setting you up for success. If you go in, oh my gosh, this is going to be terrible. I'm going to see all the crap I did wrong this year. Or I'm going to be mad if X, Y, and Z didn't do X, A, B, and C. Go in it with I'm doing this review to help move me forward. This is not something to get mad, upset about, unless you just totally wrecked your business, then that's a mindset that you're gonna have to deal with. But what problems am I seeing? What solutions am I seeing? How can I move forward positively in a manner that's going to reach my goals, set me up for the end of the year and beginning of the year? And yes, wealth and legacy, I'm very big on wealth and legacy too. That is definitely something you should keep in mind. Wealth and legacy. What am I leaving? Because we do not know. Tomorrow's not promised. So what am I leaving? How am I leaving it? Hopefully you're leaving your business to something or someone. How am I leaving it? Is it a hot mess? And they're like, how fast can I get rid of it? Or is it something that the next generation or whoever picks up your business can move forward with and hopefully build your wealth and legacy after you're gone? So yes, extremely important it just really brings home the fact of doing a review. So you know where you're at, you know how it's going to move forward. Write it down, record it. If you don't like writing, a voice note. I mean, you don't have to make it elaborate and over the top extreme. A simple pen and paper, Google Doc, voice note, or whatever, and just go through the things. Make sure your legal documents are in order. I know that's a situation. Some people don't have legal documents in order. So if something happens and your loved ones or your team or whatever can't move forward because the documentation is not there. So then they're stuck. So just on that note, yes, part of your review should be, are my legal documents in order in case that somebody has to pick up this business, or I don't want this business picked up by somebody, but I have the legal documents in order that says that. So I do wealth and legacy planning, so that is something I do also as a service. So definitely hit me up in the LinkedIn link that will be put in the show notes. Show notes. Let me choose my words, Belle. Because Miss Susan, as we wrap up, Miss Susan puts our links in the show notes within usually 1 to 2 business days. So definitely get in touch with us. We definitely want to help you, not only as your business, but as a person. Like, you're a business owner, you're a human being. So we definitely want to, and that is my mission, to help human beings, not just businesses. So definitely hit us up. We want to thank Susan for doing show notes. She turns it into a podcast on Spotify. You can listen to us on there. Please like, subscribe, and share our show. We are international. They're in Africa. I'm in the United States. So we are from all over the world. We have members from Canada and everywhere and in between. I was just talking about some of the cool members we have yesterday. So definitely find out what Explore ProTech is about. Hit up Peter. He is one of the co-founders. So my name is Sondra, and I am the owner of Get It Done. I help you get things done, from reviews to planning to resources and everything in between. My job is to make you successful, whatever that definition is. Peter, why don't you go ahead and wrap us up?
Awesome. So it's come to the point in the show where we have to unfortunately say goodbye. If you have any questions, hit us up, reach out. Like Sondra said, our details will be in the description. Have fun with that. We are nice people. We don't bite much. We don't bite much. But that being said, may all your wildest entrepreneurial dreams